Who is responsible for my pet's health? Who's responsible for my health? For my safety and the safety of my family and pets, my basic survival? Well, industrial society makes us all feel demoralized and unfulfilled. And there's a lot of information out there about that. The modern education system is a key component of our modern industrial society. And it basically teaches us that we must follow society's rules and protocols and norms, and that we'll be punished or shunned if we don't follow the norms and the rules and we don't fit in properly. And that leads us through a series of steps to somewhat of a victim mentality, where we think that all of our problems are not really our fault, and that it's the responsibility of industrial society and our arbitrary local and federal governments to guarantee and provide for our wants and needs. Through no fault of our own, we become dependent on the government and the society and the for-profit healthcare and veterinary industries for everything. So this naturally leads to a major social division. And as we've seen in recent years, and as we're seeing now in June of 25, those who have done whatever it takes, or they've just been lucky enough to achieve success, those people will understand that each of us is ultimately responsible for our own health and welfare and peace and security and success. And we're also responsible for all those things with regard to our family and our pets. And those who have been successfully propagandized and brainwashed, which is usually the higher educated people, and they might be successful or they might not be successful, but they end up feeling that society as a whole and that the government are responsible for their individual and family and pets' health and success. And in fact, this is exactly what happens with our pets' healthcare. We've been propagandized or brainwashed or taught or just otherwise led to believe that the for-profit healthcare industry, or veterinary or human, has our best interests at heart, and that our government is going to make sure of that. Well, obviously, any corporation, and these industries are corporations, any corporation, by definition, exists solely to make a financial profit. That's what the rule of a corporation is: make financial profit for shareholders and investors. And the government, at least at the federal level, is too far removed from like the local county health department or the local elementary school to be able to monitor or regulate or oversee or guarantee health and social programs. The federal government exists to provide for us, the taxpayers and the citizens, and there's a lot more about the word citizen that we're not going to get into here, but they exist to provide for us through national defense. And that's physical national defense with a physical military. And by physically paying attention to or controlling who comes in or goes out of the country. And through economic and other means that keep our nation strong in the eyes of other nations, so we don't look weak and we don't get overtaken. That's what the federal government is supposed to do, is protect us at that level. But when it comes to our pets' health and our own health, the corporate healthcare and insurance industries that are absolutely for profit, they're not interested in us or our pets being healthy. And the federal government has bigger, more important things to do than to monitor that or control that. So that's why you're here. That's why you're looking at channels like mine and listening to opinions like mine. Because you ultimately are beginning to understand that only you can be responsible and can change or affect or somehow guarantee the health of yourself and your pets and your family. And just a little reminder here at the end, it's not just the current, immigration riots and stuff in June of 2025. Just look at Western North Carolina. Now it's 8 or 9 months since Helene came through there. Take a look in there, look at some of the YouTube videos, or go there yourself, which I don't think you can do. But you'll see firsthand that those people are fending for themselves. And it's tragic and it's embarrassing as a country. But those people have learned firsthand that when the shit hits the fan, they are individually, and as individuals, that includes their family and local friends and family, but as a little local group, they're on their own. The government and healthcare industries, and especially the insurance industry, have long forgotten about them or don't want to give them any money. So you need to keep that in mind when you go to the vet for your dog's vaccines or whatever they're trying to bully or guilt you into giving your dog, whether it's injecting the toxic chemicals of vaccines or the toxic chemicals of these new wonder drugs or whatever. So remember all of this, because they are not going to be there for you, and they're not even going to acknowledge later that those toxic chemical injections are the direct reason why your pet now has all these immune system problems and chronic life-shortening diseases. They're not going to be there for you after they pushed all those toxins on you years ago. Only you can guarantee or affect your own health and wellness for yourself and your family and your pets. Thanks.